we're like it's way more entertaining, and it's also they're all playing better. And it's just it's now even more confusing to me. Like, why were we playing like? I mean, why were we not playing Isbasuma like when he was healthy? Because obviously he had injuries and whatnot. Why was he like always coming off the bench every game?
We were saying before the game, because it's like the way he plays. You said it perfectly. It's like he's a feel player, right? He's like, it's the perfect word for him. He's a feel player, and for that he needs a bit of confidence to flow, And when you're with a manager like Conte, it's a case of like, no, you got to come in my system, do exactly what. I don't see Ange Postecoglou is standing there going, "Oh, drop your shoulder and totally annihilate players' lives like the way you're doing." Ange is just giving him free range to do the systems job, but then have fun, like play.
I think we go add to that as well, Charlie, as well. We'll see what you think. Is Antonio Conte had an ace up his sleeve.
Yeah.
But just with his stubbornness of playing a certain formation, wouldn't relinquish the ace and play it.
I also reckon part of it is like political. I don't think he asked for Basuma kind of thing. But it was a club signing.
He never wanted to be at the club, right? I mean, we all know that. But like, I also think like, you see this a lot. I see this a lot in like, I'm gonna make a comparison to like American football here. A lot of times, like coaches will like change their offensive schemes and defensive schemes and whatnot around the players' strengths, and I feel like that's happening more as opposed to the other way around. Like,
do you also think it's more a case as well? Well, like, we brought in some players, but they had attributes to play in an attacking style, and yet we had a manager who wanted to play defensive first, then counter attack, where it just. So last season, it was kind of like
it didn't mesh.
Yeah. We just relied heavily on an attack that could do stuff that was crazy.
And the irony of it all is that the defense looks miles better this season when we're in an attacking scene. Like the back line has looked phenomenal.
I think so far that might be the most surprising thing for opposition fans. Like,
I was confident in Van de Ven. I like the signing of Van de Ven, but like I didn't expect him to be this good this quickly. To make this type of an impact. I mean, first game of the season, he got there like 3 days before the Brentford game, like something like that. And he played well in that, and then he's been amazing the last 2 games. Romero's looked.
You look at it. Sorry, Charlie. It's literally 3 brand new defenders. All right, Porro was there, but you're starting the season with Romero being the only like real mainstay. That's a big change.
And even Porro's playing in a new role.
Yeah.
So
it's incredible.
Yeah. Charlie, the only kind of negative today, again,
here he goes.
We know.
Striking position. Tell me, what do we do with him? What would you do with him?
I think that. I don't think that we're gonna sell him. I don't know if anybody would buy him. I think that right now you just need to get another striker, whether it be what's his name, the guy in Belgium,
Orban,
Gift Orban, whether it be him or someone else, just somebody to even like that we can rely on, or if we don't bring in somebody within the window, move Son into the middle and start Perisic.
So you're saying you wouldn't start Richie anymore?
We can't start Richard. Like we can't start him in the given his current form. Like he today was like, he was horrible today, and I've wanted him to be like good for us so badly. Like I've been holding out hope for him way longer than I should have, and today was. I don't have words for it. It was that poor.
But do we not need to do you not feel like he's the kind of player who just needs to continue encouragement, get his arm around the shoulder, or do you feel like at some point he's costing the team and that's
important thing? Yeah, and I think that we're at that point where it's costing the team. I mean, and even though obviously we had a lot of issues with like the managers and stuff last year, but if you remember when Son was in that horrible run of form at the beginning of the year last year, then we then they had Son come
Dropped
off
him
the
in and he
bench.
came back, scored a hat trick. Yeah.
Yeah, and then he came back and scored a hat trick. Exactly. Like, and
But
then build up.
but
his
Charlie, that's
confidence.
someone who's like won the Golden Boot the season before, has elite level
That's also
confidence,
true.
but maybe played just so many games, had a World Cup year. You know, like Son knows he's got it in the bag. Do we even know if Richarlison's got it in the bag? That's the problem. Does he think he's got it in the bag?
Well, the thing is that we see this in the international game. We see the we see Richarlison shine when he's wearing that Brazil shirt.
Yeah.
Like that's why it's so frustrating to me. Like I've seen the player that he can be. Like we've all seen the player that he can be.
In his comfort zone of having, 6 world-class Brazilians around him, all speaking his language, all, his friends. Outside of that, it's kind of.
And add one thing to that, I've just realised Burnley next week away. Is this not the kind of game where we should be using? Where I'm saying this, not saying we should, but this kind of game, physical, strong, everything. This is his kind of game where he should. But again, you're looking at it it sounds like the right game for him, but then it's giving him another chance, and if it fails, it's become a tough one now.
I would say, yeah.
We also have Tuesday. Like that's just the next league game. We also have Tuesday. We have the cup game at Fulham. So,
Charlie, going on to more positives.
Let's go back to the positives. We won today. We got 3 points.
Kulusevski's come on for a lot of criticism, but he, got on the score sheet today with a lovely finish for the second goal. Is he a player you thought had a better performance today?
Yeah, I think he also struggled a little bit. The entire front three, like the forwards had started off kind of slow, but Son even though he hasn't had a goal contribution yet, he's been looking really good. Yeah. And like recently, like the first game he wasn't as good, but he's definitely like the goals and assists are going to come if he keeps playing the way he's playing. And Kulusevski, I think today he definitely played better. Definitely like the goal definitely helps.
Yeah.
But I also think it's weird. Like we don't have to be so reliant on our forwards in like with Ange Ball, because we had everybody like involved in that, like in the attack, especially with with both of the back we have both the backs, Porro and Udogie playing critical roles in the attack. Like Udogie's the one that got the assist for Kulusevski's goal.
Yeah. And look, like Sonny was there with the little touch. Like everyone kind of worked beautifully. You had Perisic working beautifully, Udogie working beautifully. Udogie actually does a lot of good dribble work as well. And then Son pops up in that 9 role and does a perfect little reverse ball inside. And then it's just one more touch and you've got a great goal,
Yeah.
Oh, a bit of feedback.
Yeah, we think we're a bit of feedback.
Yeah,
but but that's what I think what happens when you have a 9 and you don't have someone who's got their head down and having a tough time. So that's why that's why I'm feeling like Sonny's natural. Do you think Sonny's natural as a 9, or do you think you'd prefer him on out on the side?
I think that he's more he's more naturally on the wing, but I think if we need him to play that number 9 role, he can play that number 9 role and play it well. Yeah. I don't think he's I don't think he's like necessarily a primary number 9, but I do think like if we need him to be playing that role, he can play that role well.
Yeah.
Charlie, given how we've started the season and how the first three games, has that made you maybe like a lot calmer about the last week of the transfer window, about what business we do and don't get done, or are you still kind of agitating a bit for the right players to come in?
I mean, before I think I wouldn't say I'm getting calmer about this team like in any way, because you can never be calm with Tottenham. And
Damn right.
and B, like, I'm getting more excited about this team, like with how they're playing. It's a real, like, Ange Ball is a very fun brand of the sport to watch, and it's especially when it's working.
Yeah.
Like it
It's
has
like Ted
been.
Lasso, isn't it? Ange Ball is life.
Exactly.
Yeah. And ball is life, exactly.
But it's so early as well. It's like it's so.
Yeah.
I can't believe that we're seeing the fruits of it so early. I thought it
Yeah,
would take.
and
Did you not think it was going to take so much longer
I
for?
thought it would take no. I definitely thought it would take some time.
Yeah.
Like, but it's looking really well. And I know my time's probably coming up soon, but I just want to get like one or two more points in. The midfield has been class. It's they've all been phenomenal. Phenomenal. Let's start. Like Sar has been phenomenal. Basuma, I mean, we're all singing his praise. He's like been playing world class. Like Madison, it's another phenomenal performance. He's been amazing. Can't believe it only cost him like 30 million. Essentially 30 million in Harry Wings. And then
that's the deal.
we're
That
going
is
to
the deal with the transfer window.
in a month or two as well. Like we're going to have a lot of options at that position as well with Bentancur coming back. And again, especially like I really rate Bentancur. I think he's an amazing player. And the fact that we have this strength at midfield, it's going to help kind of like ease him back in. Like we don't have to rush him back in. I guess like he does like if you like rush somebody back from injury, they're going to be much more prone to getting like another injury again and everything. And we don't have to do that because we are so deep at the midfield position right now. So just wanted to make that point as well.
Yep.
All right, Charlie. Thank you for coming onto the show, my friend. Really appreciate your call. Appreciate your time.